Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Pokemon Battle Series, The School of Hard Knocks. Throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to the Pokemon Global Link Battle Spot ladder, playing under the Championship Battle rules, which is the equivalent rule set of the VGC 2017 season. So, it is Monday guys, but I'm recording this episode on Sunday just to kind of catch up with a bit of extra stuff that I want to do for the channel. So I want to get that Tapu Lele team building episode out, so I want to try and get as much stuff done early on this week as I can, so hopefully get it out to you by the end of next week. I keep saying that I'm going to try and get it out, so I do want to get that nailed down and done, because I want that just out the way so you guys can watch it and we can start afresh with maybe aiming to do a team building episode around this team. We will have the QR code team updated for this team now. It will be in the description. I managed to get the TMs last night. Well, I'm going to get them tonight, so I'll definitely have them for tonight's episode. So do go on the global link, check the description for the link, and you can go and try this team for yourselves. And let me know if you do, because I'd love to hear how you get on with it, guys, and test it out and see what you think of it. So we've just had those two episodes from yesterday that we've played, and we're just going to hop straight back on and get right back into it, not mess around, and see how far we can climb up the ladder, see if we can find some really tough opponents. And more importantly, I really want to showcase this Scizor, because we had that episode that I was telling you about yesterday, in yesterday's episode that I tried to record, and we had that amazing game with Scizor that I couldn't actually upload because the video quality, the frame rate on the video was just totally skew with, and it was so disappointing. I wish I could show you guys, but unfortunately that is lost to us. I might go on the global link and see if the person that I played uploaded it. If they have, then we can feature it, because I think it's worth a watch. But we'll see further down the line. Hopefully we can just redeem ourselves in today's episode with some better opponents, better quality matches and all that jazz. So we have our first opponent of the day, and they are running a team of Arcanine, Tapu Koko, Alolan Marowak, Garchomp, Milotic and Celesteela. So big problem number one is that Marowak. Obviously it's going to draw in all the electric type attacks that we throw out with our Tapu Koko, protecting that Milotic and the Celesteela. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. So we need to kind of prioritize taking that down as soon as we can. And I do really like Incineroar here anyway. So Incineroar does a good job against Marowak. So that is probably something I want to bring. The Trick Room mode here isn't too bad either. So I'm kind of leaning towards Incineroar, Porygon 2, Mudsdale, and keeping Tapu Koko in the back till late game. Or the other option we could go for is Tapu Fini, because we could go down the route of swaggering Mudsdale late game to get rid of the Celesteela, which might not be a bad idea as well. I think Fini might be a bit of a better option to have against... Yeah, let's go with that. I mean, we've got less options against the Milotic, but I think P2, if we can start getting some swaggers up onto it, it's going to be more than enough to deal with the Milotic. We just need to be a bit careful with how we kind of manage the field here. So let's see how we get on anyway. Looking forward to Wednesday's episode as well, guys, because like I said earlier in the week, we will be doing a bit of a quick analysis of the Indianapolis International from this weekend that's going on right now, seeing the top teams, seeing if there's anything we can take from that, going into building a new team for the following week. So we will probably retire this team at the end of the week, which I'm a bit sad about, but we can't play it forever, unfortunately. It's been a really good run now. I've really enjoyed playing it so far. So we've got our opponent here leading off with the Garchomp and the Tapu Koko. Pretty standard lead, but we can take advantage of the fake out if we want to. So what has my opponent got on their team? Have they got more than one flying type attack? No, they haven't. Just a Celesteela. The thing is, I worry whether the Garchomp is scarfed or not. Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is switch out Incineroar. I need to keep Incineroar. I'm going to switch it into Mudsdale here, and I'm going to go for a Trick Room with Porygon 2. So we see the Garchomp actually withdraw. Arcanine come onto the field, which I don't mind at all. If we see this Tapu Koko protect, that is absolutely amazing for us, really. So we'll just withdraw Incineroar, keep it in the back later, because we need to keep in mind that Celesteela could be on my opponent's team, which will not be great. And we just see a Dazzling Gleam, which will take all day long, and get a stamina boost. And P2 gets a Trick Room up. So, what are we looking like? What boost did we get with that P2? We got a special attack boost, so that's quite handy for the Garchomp later on if we decide to go with that. The question is now, what do we do? Do we go for a high horsepower into the Arcanine, or do we go for the high horsepower into the Tapu Koko? I feel like we go for the high horsepower into the Arcanine and we just Ice Beam that Tapu Koko here. My opponent has to make some sort of adjustment, I feel. Everything's pretty threatened from the Mudsdale on their side of the field at the minute. But we should be able to pick up the one-hit KO onto the Arcanine. Arcanine just protects here, so that's fine. We'll probably see the Tapu Koko just protect as well. Okay. So just burning these Trick Room turns down. So, if we do the same again, what could my opponent do? My opponent could switch in the Celesteela for the Arcanine. Would be one switch they could make, and if they've got it, and they well, I think they have to switch the Celesteela in for the Koko slot, really, because you don't want to switch in Garchomp on the. I think what I'm going to do actually is go for a high horsepower into the Tapu Koko. And I'm going to switch in Tapu Fini on my Porygon 2 slot, just in case we see a Will-O-Wisp come out from this Arcanine into the Mudsdale. So there's the Arcanine withdrawing. Is it going to be the Celesteela? There we go. Okay. And we get the high horsepower into the Koko. So, ooh, it is actually sashed Koko, so we probably will see a Volt Switch here. Oh, Skydrop. Took Tapu Fini into the air. Okay. So we take Tapu Fini out of the game for one turn at least. I feel like I want to bring in Incineroar here, to be honest. Preserve Mudsdale for later in the game, maybe. Because we're probably just going to get Leech Seeded, to be honest here. We could stay in, to be honest, and just get some damage onto it with a Rock Slide. We could go for the flinch if we felt like that was a play we wanted to make, or a close combat. Let's go for a close combat into the Celesteela, just get some damage onto it, and we'll just go for a Muddy Water. We're not going to get an attack off with Fini this turn regardless, because Tapu Koko will move last, so do just get a bit of damage onto the Celesteela. And there's the Leech Seed. Tapu Koko will just drop us down from the sky, so high. And you see Celesteela just get the majority of its health back from that close combat. But what I'm going to do this next turn is you've got to expect that Tapu Koko to protect this next turn, and Celesteela just go for a Leech Seed onto the Tapu Fini. I'm going to switch out, like, how many turns of Trick Room have we got left? One. So yeah, I'm going to switch out Incineroar, Mudsdale into Incineroar, and I'm going to go for a Muddy Water here. No, I'm going to go for a Swagger. No. What am I better off doing, to be honest? Just a Muddy Water, probably. Or a Protect. I could just Protect to stop the Leech Seed coming out onto Fini this turn, because I don't want the Celesteela just Leech Seeding everything, so I'll just Protect Fini this turn. Then we kind of bluff the Protect on the Tapu Koko at the same time. We'll get the Incineroar in, and then we kind of almost force our Tapu Koko out the next turn, because if it doesn't switch out, then it's going to get faked out. So it actually withdraws. We see the Garchomp hit the field. We'll Protect Finny, and I would imagine we'll see a Leech Seed onto that Tapu Fini slot. It's just a heavy slam into that slot, so that's fine. And the dimensions turn back to normal. So I'm just going to fake out the Garchomp here, and I'm going to switch Tapu Fini into Porygon 2. Yeah. Garchomp's a bit worrying, because if it's got a Tectonic Rage, it will do some big damage to something. We do get a special attack boost here. Garchomp just protects this turn, and probably see a Leech Seed into the Porygon 2, I'd imagine. Oh, Bulldoze, okay. Alright. We don't mind that too much. So speed does drop on both Pokemon we've got here. I'm going to see a Tectonic Rage into the Porygon 2, possibly. Or just an Earthquake. I think Incineroar will be able to take an Earthquake, to be honest, from this range. So I might just Flare Blitz into the Celesteela this turn and go for a Trick Room, rather than switch it out and something come in. Yeah, so here's a Tectonic Rage. I think he's probably doubling into the Porygon 2 here to prevent that Trick Room going up. But we'll see if it'll be enough. Let's see. Okay. So if we can take a Heavy Slam, which we possibly should be able to. Oh, it is enough. That's terrible. Okay, that's very close. As long as this isn't a defensive boost, then we'll hopefully be alright. This probably won't KO though, I don't think. There's a good chunk though. Really good chunk. So we've got Tapu Fini now. I think what I'm going to do is switch in Mudsdale for Incineroar and go for a... Should I go for a Muddy Water or a Swagger? I'll go for a Muddy Water, because if we get an accuracy drop on the Celesteela, it's going to help us to reduce the accuracy of those Leech Seeds that could potentially be coming out from it. We'll probably just see an Earthquake from the Garchomp here, I'd imagine. So we do switch the Incineroar out. Mudsdale comes back onto the field. There's the Earthquake from the Garchomp. No Protect from the Celesteela here. Ooh. That critical hit on Mudsdale is not helpful at all. And I don't know if the Muddy Water is going to be enough. I don't think it'll be enough to take down the Celesteela. No, we do get an accuracy drop on Garchomp though, but no such luck on the Celesteela. No, I don't think this is looking too good for us right now. I think we needed the Porygon 2 to stick around. And expecting it, we maybe should have just brought something in to take the Tectonic Rage in its place, so we could have kept it around for later in the game. I think we've got a bank on the Garchomp missing an Earthquake here. We'll go for a Heal Pulse into the Mudsdale in a close combat into that Celesteela, but I think we've got a bank on an Earthquake miss from that Garchomp. Because I don't even know if +1 Mudsdale will be able to survive the Earthquake from the Garchomp at this range. And there's no reason, I think, for my opponent not... Oh, wow. Okay, so the Garchomp actually protects. We do get the Heal Pulse off onto the Mudsdale, which is huge, because if we can get the close combat off, that means we can pick up the KO onto the Celesteela. There's the Bulldoze. That's just helping Mudsdale out though, because we will get the stamina boost, and it's so slow anyway, it doesn't really care about the speed drop. We will be able to take down this Celesteela, so that makes things a little bit better for us. Slightly. But we still have this Garchomp to worry about. It has taken an accuracy drop though as well, so that is going to help us. Let's see what my opponent's got to bring in. If it'll be that Arcanine, which you would imagine it probably will be. It's a Tapu Koko. Okay. But the Garchomp's not going to Earthquake next to the Tapu Koko, right? Just can't. So we might see an Earthquake come out from the Garchomp here. Tapu Koko protect. I think to cover it, what I'm going to do is just Rock Slide, and I'm going to go for another Heal Pulse, expecting another Earthquake to come out from... I'm expecting the Koko to protect here, and an Earthquake to come out. So there's the protect. Tapu Fini should be able to take this Earthquake. There's the Earthquake. So yeah, Fini takes it. We'll get this Heal Pulse onto the Mudsdale. We're just going to get a bit of chip damage, hopefully, with the Rock Slide onto the Garchomp. Tiny bit of chip. Oh, I forgot that we've got the Leech Seed there on the Fini. So the Koko getting a bit of health back. So I'm just going to high horsepower into the Tapu Koko slot in case the Arcanine comes in on that slot, and protect Tapu Fini. Hopefully the high horsepower doesn't miss. It's a bit risky going for it, because Fini we will lose it if it does go down. See a Sky Drop into the Fini. Sword Stance. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. High horsepower does hit. So at least we keep Fini around for one more turn. But that Garchomp is really threatening now after the Sword Stance. And here's the Arcanine. What could we do? What could we do? I think I'm just gonna have to... Like, the Arcanine has to protect here if the Garchomp wants to go for an Earthquake. So I'm just gonna attack into the Garchomp. And you know, there's every chance that it might miss. the Earthquake, so I'll go for another heal plus onto the Mudsdale here. Okay, it does go for the Rock Slide. Does miss the Tapu Fini, which is pretty nice. We get another stamina boost. And there's a Will-O-Wisp. That's not great. We're going to heal pulse with Finny, but I think we'll go down to... No, we might survive the Leech Seed this time round. Get a high horsepower into the Garchomp. Ugh, but it's pitiful damage now because of that burn. And the -1. We need to get Swagger off, to be honest. I don't think we're going to be able to. Just need to go for that. On whatever off chance, I'm going to go for a Swagger into the Mudsdale, even though we haven't got the Misty Terrain up. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Another Swords Dance from the Garchomp. Heat Wave does connect with both Pokemon, so we will lose the Finny here. But it is giving us another stamina boost. Yeah, it's not looking too hot. This Garchomp boosting up is getting a bit scary now. And we're losing health through that burn as well on the Mudsdale, which isn't ideal. But we have got Incineroar, I guess. So let's see what we can do with Incineroar in this situation. Like I say, it's not going too well, but Garchomp has to protect, right? Has to protect. Because it's so obvious that the Garchomp has to protect that my opponent doesn't protect it and then just attacks and protects the Arcanine here. Let's double into the Garchomp. I think we have to. I think it's so threatening at the minute. Let's just go for it. Try and shut it down. Arcanine protects, so we called it right. There's a fake out. Now, if we can get like a crit here, if we can get a crit with Mudsdale or a really high roll, we might be able to take this Garchomp down. Oh, it's so close. This is where we really want some sort of priority attack on Incineroar would be amazing. But I feel like we're going to just take... You know, the Garchomp has to go for a Rock Slide though, that's the only thing. It has to go for a Rock Slide. Let's go for a Heavy Slam into the Garchomp slot. No, let's go for a Close Combat. It has to go for a Rock Slide. It has had an accuracy drop, so there's every chance it might lose. And we'll just go for a Darkest Lariat into the Arcanine. Arcanine protects, fails. Garchomp Earthquakes. I think everything's going to go down because it hits everything. Yeah. Oh well. Garchomp on like 5 health cleans the field, but good game to my opponent. We nearly got there, but like I say, I think losing the P2 in the way we didn't help at all. I think if we kept that around, it would have been a lot easier to deal with that Garchomp, and just the Garchomp showing how good it is in the end there, especially with Swords Dance, so threatening. But we didn't do too bad from the position that we were in to kind of pull it back to make it where we went. So can't be too disappointed, but I think there was definite areas in that match where we could have played made a few different plays, maybe sacrificing something other than the Porygon 2, knowing how important it would be in that late game to deal with the Garchomp in particular. That was the biggest threat to us the whole time. So let's go into our next game, guys. Hopefully we can redeem ourselves a little bit. What music will we go for? Elite Four today. Yes. And we'll be back tomorrow as well, just to mention, with a BattleSpot doubles episode. So do stay tuned for that. I've got a very cool team lined up for that episode, and one for Thursday as well. So these are going to be the last 2 episodes that we're going to be doing QR code teams on that series for a little while, because we're going, as I say in yesterday's episode, this Saturday and Sunday, what we're going to do is do a quick live stream on Saturday, and then part 2 of that stream on Sunday, to build a completely brand new BattleSpot doubles team. So if you want to get involved with that, do come by the stream. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll start building a team ready for that tournament. We'll do it all on the channel, and then I'll go away and build it, and then we'll come back on Tuesday's episode and we'll start piling it and see how we get on with it. And what we'll just do it as I would normally test the team. So we'll go into the first few matches, see how we get on. If there's anything we're struggling against, we'll make a note of that, and then we can come back and readjust as we're going through that series with the team for a little bit. And hopefully that's a kind of good level to kind of go into with you guys, to give you some examples on how you can put a team together and test it, and how you kind of try and polish off that rock and get a finished article ready for a tournament. And we'll throw in some best of 3s there as well, because I've got a few people lined up for best of 3s on that, in that format as well. So hopefully we can get those arranged with the team and see how we get on. But that will be later in the week. Right now we need to concentrate on our next opponent of the day, and they are running a team of Tapu Fini, Garchomp, Nihilego, Mimikyu, Kartana and Drifblim. So interesting to see a Drifblim here. You normally see it more commonly paired with Tapu Lele, so you've got to assume that it probably has the Misty Seed here. I don't know if there's so much of a Trick Room mode in this team. More of an anti-Trick Room mode, I guess, with the Mimikyu there. Probably we're looking at things like Taunt here, so see what we can do. I feel like Scizzer's going to be very good in this matchup, especially just with the Mimikyu there. So I really want to actually lead Incineroar or Scizor. I'm going to bring my own Tapu Fini just to help us out with terrain control, stop burns and things like that. And I think probably Tapu Koko is going to be our last choice here, just for the Kartana, making sure that we've got something faster than that, and we can hit the Garchomp and things like that for good damage with it, and it threatens the Tapu Fini my opponent's side of the field as well. So we've left the Trick Room mode at home, but we have brought that Scizor, so let's see what we can do with Scizor. Leading with our red squad, and we see my opponent lead off with Drifblim and Tapu Fini. So we don't need to worry about being burned, because the Misty Terrain is in effect. We do see the Drifblim activate that Misty Seed, so we'll get that special defensive boost. So what are we going to do here? We could go straight for a Bullet Punch onto the Drifblim and just fake out the Tapu Fini, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Or we could go for a Swords Dance with Scizor, which I think I might take the opportunity to just go for that Swords Dance, and I'm going to fake out the Fini. See what my opponent goes for. We might just see a Tailwind come out from this Drifblim. There's the Tailwind. Fini flinches. We get that Swords Dance off. So, super powered Scizor. So +2 Bullet Punch should pick up the KO onto that Drifblim right now. What we could do is switch in our Tapu Fini and protect the Scizor to stall out a turn of Tailwind, and then at least with the Fini on that side of the field we've got access to Heal Pulse, so we can heal up our Scizor if we need to. So I am just going to pull back Incineroar, bring in the Fini, keep Incineroar for later on in the game as well, because we could utilise maybe that fake out later on in the game. Protect Scizor here. Ooh, we see Rain Dance. Interesting. Huh, we could have went for Sunny Day there. And what we're going to see from this Tapu Fini, just a Muddy Water. So, no accuracy drops. Our Tapu Fini is able to take that quite comfortably. And I think now what I'm going to do is just bullet punch into the Drifblim. Hopefully that will be enough to pick up the KO there. It will be very close. And I'm going to go for a Heal Pulse with my Tapu Fini into my Scizor. Because we should take a Muddy Water in the rain, even from this opposing Tapu Fini. Hopefully we just need to KO the Drifblim here. That's all we need to do. Easy peasy. So there we go. There's one. That's balloon popped. Number 1. Ooh, Calm Mind. So we wasted a move here with our Tapu Fini. But it was just to kind of cover us, because if we had taken a Muddy Water here, it wouldn't have been ideal at all. We'll see what my opponent brings in now for their next slot. If it'll be the Nihilego maybe, if my opponent's brought it. No, it's a Kartana. Okay. Kartana. Okay. So that is really heavily threatening Fini right now. And don't really want to bring in Incineroar on that slot. Probably see my opponent double into the Scizor here, I'd imagine, or maybe just Muddy Water and Leaf Blade into the Fini. I still think we should be able to take. I'm just going to protect, and I'm going to go for Muddy Water here, because if we lose Fini, it means we get a free switch into Incineroar or Corcoran. So there's a Sacred Sword, actually doubling into the Scizor here, so we will get a Muddy Water off regardless. As long as we don't get an accuracy drop and a Muddy Water hits, we should break the sash on that, the potential sash on that Kartana. Muddy Water doing a big chunk of damage, critical hit there, which is not great, but we do not get an accuracy drop. We do hit both of our targets with our Muddy Water, and do we get any accuracy drops? We get one on the Fini, which is super helpful, but not onto that Kartana. Right, so Tailwind Pitter's out now. I think now we will. I think there's one more turn of rain. I think we've got one more turn of rain. No, 2 more turns of rain. Okay. So I think this turn I'm going to go for a Bullet Punch into the Tapu Fini. And I'm going to protect my Tapu Fini. So my opponent just going to go for another Sacred Sword into that slot, to be honest. I'm going to go for a Heal Pulse into the Scizor actually, because you don't know the speed of that opposing Tapu Fini. So we get a Bullet Punch off, +2, doing massive damage, it's huge, it's crazy. So we see another Sacred Sword, we'll go into the Scizor. Let's see if we can take, so we get the, so it's a speed tire, we're a little bit faster, we get the Heal Pulse off first, so that's going to seriously help us out against taking this, we just see a Calm Mind, so not even a Muddy Water coming out from that opposing Tapu Fini. So we do pressure the the KO on it next turn. So this next turn, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my Tapu Fini out, and I'm going to bring in Incineroar in place of that, because we can cover the Incineroar switch in on that Tapu Fini just with the sheer power that we're dishing out with Scizzor's Bullet Punch on that slot. We don't need to worry about taking a Muddy Water at all. So can't believe how much damage that +2 Bullet Punch does to a Fini. It's crazy, isn't it? It's like insane. Scizzor's so good. So the Tapu Fini protects, but that's fine. So Kartana will probably go for a Sacred Sword here into the but we see a Leaf Blade, so even better for us. Way better. Rain stops, so we can just fake out into the Kartana slot. Stop it moving for a turn with Incineroar and just Bullet Punch. So I'll just do that, and I'll fake out the Kartana. Scizor putting in some big work here, so hopefully, depends what my opponent has in the back as well. and my opponent just forfeits. So Scissor too much, but good game to my opponent. Scissor just dominating there. I don't think there was much, depending, like if the Nihilego was in the back, then I don't know what my opponent could have done. We still had Finny and Coco on the back as well to come in, but Scissor just putting on so much pressure. Once it gets a Swords Dance off, it's just so good. What are we going to do? Let's call it a day there, guys, because that first game was super long. And I don't want to drag this episode out too long. It was a really long game, that first one that we had, and we just missed out on the win right at the end there. That Garchomp just getting enough with those additional Swords Dances, and that burn damage stacking up on the Mudsdale was just enough for my opponent to win that first game, which is a bit unfortunate. It was a bit of a slog, but sometimes that's just how it goes. And then that game there, we just showed how good Scissor can be, how threatening it could be, like against like really common stuff in the meta game. And like, look at the damage it did to that Tapu Fini. Like, it can sit in Calm Mind as much as it wants, but as long as you're supporting the Scissor well, like you can do with the Heal Pulse and Tapu Fini, those bullet punches are going to be easy picking up a 2-hit KO on most Tapu Fini. So it's pretty threatening, and it's just a fun Pokemon to use. So what I'll do, guys, as I said earlier in the episode, that QR code should be updated now with the frustration on that Porygon 2, which will make it a bit easier for you guys to pilot if you go on the Battle Spot ladder and try it out for yourselves. So do click on it, have a test of it, let me know what you think of it if you do go on and have a play around with it. But we'll leave things there, guys. We'll be back tomorrow with an episode of our Battle Spot Double Series, so do stay tuned for that. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like on the video. It massively helps out the channel, all that jazz. If you're new to the channel, hello. Subscribe yourself to the channel so you can stay up to date with all that daily content that we've got coming out. School of Hard Knocks, Battle Spot Double Series, QR Code Series, and MBL Season 2. So do stay tuned for all of that, guys, and I will be back tomorrow with an episode of our Battle Spot Double Series. So until then, guys, you take care of yourselves. Have an amazing evening, whatever you're doing. It's always a pleasure to have you here with me. I love you all so much, and I will see you tomorrow. So until then, guys, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye!